Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Niko Works and Otas. Today we are coming to you from Ruaka. We are talking to one amazing gentleman doing this amazing job with Lwitsan consultants that's saying sustainability, our footprint. The major focus is wastewater management. We want to talk to Edwin Otieno and get to hear how is it that such a young man is doing amazing exploits on matters environmental management and consultancy work.
Lwitsan is basically the first part, LWIT, Lwitsan, is just an acronym I got from a book I read and I loved it. It's a book by I think it's Robert Greene, a leader with no title. So Lwitsan means just lead without a title. Then San basically just means sanitation. And as also born again Christian, we drive our title from Ecclesiastes 9:10, which says, whatever it is you find your hands to do it with all your might, do it like there is no tomorrow. So Lwitsan started it's an idea. We started as an idea earlier, 2017, 2018, but we formally came into existence formally, I mean now registration, the government and all those in the year 2019. And yes, that is when we began. So we've been operating since then. Initially operated from home, I used to work just from my house, then the car. So my car was the office, then I go during the day, I move with the office in the evening. Now I come and set up at home. but eventually we thank God as I was able to secure space, and here we are. Sometimes I take selfies and send my dad and tell him, Dad, nimepata kazi finally. There's a day he actually called me and he said, "So ulisema utatafuta kazi." I told him, you see now, I have bought equipment, I have set up an office, I have staff. So if I were to look for a job today, what will I do with them and this equipment? Does it ever nipeleke home? Then the conversation ended. The conversation ended there. But yes, it's been an amazing journey, and we thank God the far we are. As you correctly mentioned when you were introducing us, Lwitsan is basically an environmental solutions company. Our main area of focus is wastewater management. We just realized we can do wastewater treatment and recycling, but after all, the water is not waste per se. So we're saying recycle the water and use it to grow those trees actually, because even areas like, just from where we are, areas like Kajiado and the Nairobi metropolis generally, we are experiencing water shortage. Recently, one of the biggest conversations as the government is increasing things is water tariffs are increasing. So, but still, with or without the higher cost of water, we still need an ambient environment. So we are saying whether there is drought, there is no drought, wastewater is always generated. So at that level, we are saying, how about we recycle this water and just convert it to use it for the good of the environment, instead of just pumping it out as raw sewer that has caused a lot of pollution. And how this came to be, well, I did go to school. I remember in 2009, about when I went to choose a program, a degree program to take. A friend to my dad said, "Well, you need to do environmental science." Why? My son did it. He has applied for jobs in the UN, so I also applied and I did a degree course, undergraduate in environmental science in Egerton University. I finished in 2015. Then later on in 2017, I enrolled for a master's program at the University of Nairobi, now studying what we call climate change and adaptation. And back to where Lwitsan started was that just after campus, when we were in our fourth year, we did a field trip to somewhere in Kitengela, and one amazing gentleman, the man I really owe my entire journey to where I am, my colleague, my mentor, and sometimes even my dad in the profession, was the one taking us through the waste management technologies he was doing. So I met him. Then after campus, Well, I was still looking forward to go to the UN, because you were told, yes. So all of us in that class really looked forward to working in the UN, but something different. I guess God just has its own way of doing things, because after coursework 2015, I asked this gentleman to allow me to volunteer in his organization. So for 6 good months, I was just volunteering in a company that does almost similar thing they're doing, wastewater management and environmental consultancy, those NEMA reports and all those things. And I developed an interest. And the strange thing, I normally tell people I was never employed. One of the parameters I use is my brother laughs at me when he says, sijai kuwa na payslip. Because the gentleman, when he took me in as a volunteer, it quickly evolved from not being a job to being a mentorship. So he had me as later on, he had me as his manager, and our mode of operation was that, man, we go out there, we look for business, then we pay ourselves. So the employment bit was just a gentleman's agreement on what is my share at the end of every month. But literally, he just taught me management. So I worked with him all the way from 2015 to now 2019. And this was a very serious mentorship. I was able to appreciate the gaps in the industry. I was able to appreciate what I need to offer. That is even also what informed my choice of a master's program. Then, yes, so when I felt it was time, so I took that step to just launch out and also offer what I had gained.
Wow.
Yes, so that is how Lwitsan started.
Now, a tailor will wake up in the morning, and what people will interact with is a finished product. In consulting, what people really interact with is your mind, your brain, your experience, your value, And at the end of the day, you can't live one day and voila, I'm a consultant. You really need to be nurtured and grow. A lot of people go out and look for what we call a dream job. Well, until I realized that a dream job is not necessarily that high office and that well-paid job and that big name. I also had a lot of those ambitions. Remember, I've said you to mention the UN and all those things. So one thing that we do and personally, by the way, I don't just wait for interviews and every young person I interact with. One thing I've made my life mission and also ministry to help them find meaning and a definition. So the place of mentorship is very important. And in mentorship and in volunteering, I cannot look at you walking and imagine, hey, you look like you can be a good influencer. Come. After finishing our exam, I went home for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I stayed somewhere in Busia and I realized, man, this thing is not working. So I called this gentleman and told him, look, I want to come and volunteer. And I knew volunteering will give me a couple of things. Number one, I knew volunteering will give me, if it is a good office, I will have at least access to a newspaper and look for job adverts. I'll have at least access to an internet and do application. And also, I will have an opportunity to learn. So I just figured out where to stay, but then I decided to trust the process. As a manager, I did a lot of young people went through my hands. And the one biggest limitation we found with these guys is that not clearly defining what you want. You have this expectation, but then you have not really defined. And something else that I really found young people really need to appreciate is that when you find a chance to learn a skill, when one day you talk about now how I ended up from a volunteer to a manager, it was related to a skill I had earned earlier in second year. When things need to go how I wanted, and I ended up doing in Diego. There is a connection. So I normally say, when you find a chance to learn a skill, okay, leave all those expectations you have. You learn this skill, even if you don't know how you're going to use it at that moment.
You learn that skill, even if you don't know how to use it at this moment. We're going to hold that thought there. But when we come back, we want to pick it up on the challenges in this sector, the opportunities, and what is it that the young people can tap into when it comes to matters environmental wastewater management. See you after the short break. Let us pay the bills.
We are talking about the LGBT question.
The whole idea of the LGBT ideology and lobby is the radical transformation of society. So they want to change it because they are not happy.
The Constitution allows freedom of association.
It does.
So,
that's why we were explaining to the court that they should have noted that the right is capable of limitation, and this is one of the instances in which it should be limited.
Some of the options we have as Kenyans.
We need a holistic approach of safeguarding and promoting positive cultural values. So what we are valuing is a family.
I have on the set Mr. Charles Kanjama. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Godfrey. I'm delighted to be here.
Catch the GG Report with Pastor Godfrey Gishuki every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is the second bit of the show. Niko Wax Now Otas coming to you live on Elevate TV, where we are advancing kingdom lifestyle. Remember, we're also live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can always get the links and get to the show. Learn a thing or two. The skills and the people we bring on board. These are people who are going to impact you positively and transform your life for the better. That is why we are talking about Niko Wax. We are at work, for those who don't understand the lingua. Anyway, I'm sitting here with Edwin. Edwin is the director of Lwitsan Consultants, and we're dealing majorly with wastewater management. So before we went on a break, we were just saying the value of volunteerism, how you rose from being a volunteer to a manager and what have you. And you are actually telling the young people that they need to tap into some of this opportunity as and when they knock at their doorstep, because sometimes opportunity comes and we are like, volunteer. Najua sasa mtalipaje big manze, nataka kupeleka date na volunteer. Tricky. But anyway, so I know in every sector there are challenges and there are opportunities. So looking at this sector, which is the wastewater, let me narrow down to wastewater management. What are some of the challenges? Because I know water is a very fundamental resource and managing it's very key. But again, I know in every sector there must be challenges. So anybody who wants to venture into this sector must be ready for some of these things. So what are some of the things that they need to look out for?
Well, one of the main challenges with the wastewater management is that the clients in this sense, people don't really pay attention to wastewater management. That would affect how they bargain, that will affect how they value your offering, that will affect even how much they are willing to invest in a proper system. By the way, majority of the chaos we see in terms of pollution and pumping out of wastewater all over the place is purely a function of people not giving wastewater a proper thought at the design level. There are so many occasions where you meet a client, they know their house like the back of their hands, where the wood was imported from, how much nails went into this. But when you ask them, what does your wastewater system look like? It says, for the one who do Nigeria. So there are two levels of clients we meet. You have this one who is in the process of construction. You be part of the project from the design. Then you have this one whose system has failed. They have met you and they want you to help them fix the system, because we also do that. Now, these ones who have failed are normally actually a bigger challenge. Why? They want you to do a miracle. Nobody loves their waste. You love the food, but byproducts you don't.
Bro, I'm gonna be bad.
No, I mean it is the truth. So the expectation becomes so high, you know, and while still, because to them it's still waste, they still want to pay the least they could pay for the product. So the main challenge is normally just that then also policy-wise, when the government talks about waste management, there's a lot of focus on solid waste. Even funding, even right now when you go online and you want to apply for funding projects for waste management, majority of the people have gone the direction of solid waste. Even right now, the 17 billion tree project you're talking about, and none of them are thinking about wastewater recycling as a technology that would actually be very instrumental in making this work. So it takes us a lot to explain and to demonstrate that, by the way, there is something here we're really overlooking that can solve 2 or 3 problems at a go. Yes.
Wow. So those are the key challenges that are actually in this sector.
Apart from the normal entrepreneur challenges, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur is a decision-making business. Before you even do the actual business you're doing to earn an income, the life of an entrepreneur involves a lot of tough decisions day in, day out. Do you pay rent first or pay staff first? Do you do this first or do this first? This client, I really need this job. Do I take a risk and take the minimum pay he's offering, or do I leave it and hope for another job? You know, so all those are decisions you have to make on a day-to-day basis. But then there's no their God.
They shall be experts, huh?
Yes.
And experts indeed you're doing in this sector.
Yes.
Now, what are the opportunities? What are the opportunities that lies in wastewater management? As I know, wastewater management is quite broad.
Yes.
But what are some of the specific opportunities that someone can look out into and maybe tap into?
So one opportunity is that invest in understanding wastewater properly. Why? There's a lot of competition in the industry resulting from the guys who are doing this system we call by the small ones. But the industry is flooded with people who, I don't know how to call them quack, but people who are self-taught. Now, if you are good at what you're doing, then the value you generate will definitely now attract a better. And again, by the way, if you find clients who appreciate now recycling, the language you're talking, then normally they're clients who know what they really want. The other opportunity is that yes, it is an area you can do your research, you can do your studies. There's still a lot of research and studies and just knowledge generation that is involved, and it's something that does not really can absorb as many people as possible. That is why even us as an organization, one way or the other, we have universities sometimes coming and we can just take the students through what we are doing. And I normally, every time we meet such, I normally leave them with the potential areas that guys have not really looked into. The other main opportunities, yes, we are having a crisis, population is increasing, and this is a challenge that will always be there with us. If you learn how to solve it and how to provide solution and you define your niche properly, then yes, you would find space for yourself.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know how much time we have from the director. Actually, today we're being directed by one amazing gentleman by the name Peter Ithanwa Mbugwa. Guy. Ithanwa. I said that one on air. But anyway, thank you so much, Peter, for the amazing job. You're saying you have a few minutes still to make use of in the program. Now, if somebody was to look for you, maybe they want to engage you, what are the rates like? I know you might not give me the exact figures, but if you're going to do an environmental impact assessment, or you're going to do wastewater management on site, for instance, what are the charges like? What is the cost implications?
Well, when it comes to environmental impact assessment and generally environmental consulting, one is that it is a very regulated industry, regulated in the sense that we are licensed. We actually are licensed by NEMA. Then there is a regulatory body called the Environment Institute of Kenya. Now, from that is where the rates are normally defined. But depending on the nature of project, because again, impact assessment is not carried out for all the projects. But you can have a project as small as a borehole or a church, those are under low risk. You can have medium risk, a flat like what we have. Then you can have even high risk project like now the nuclear power plant that the government has been proposing and the conversation are there. So the rate would vary the nature of projects. You can have an impact assessment going for as less, maybe as less as 50,000, 60,000, depending on the nature. But you can have some that are paid in millions, like those big projects. Again, the same is with wastewater. A system for a single dwelling, your home, your maisonette, your own compound, would literally be less costlier than a system like a flat like this. And again, for us in the industry, what we do is that we offer our services in two ways. We can do it as a consultancy. A consultancy means I'll come to your site, I'll give you the design, then I'll supervise. You use your fundings and your engineer and your contractor outside. Or there are those who now give it as a full contract where I'll be responsible for the work from, because we have a team, we have a construction team with an architect, a QS and a contractor. So we can come to the ground and do it entirely. So consultancies, again, depending on the size of the facility, the range it's not bad if you get guys.
But I know you someone did say that Jengo iko na pesa ukipata client ako na pesa. I know you're not going to give us the figures. Don't worry. That is normally the slogan. But yes, if you get guys who are willing, then yes, they're able to compensate you for. Remember, I said consultancies are buying jobs, and people might not properly quote what you're offering. You know that shirt you see the quality of the shirt and all those things, and compare price in touch and whatever, and give it a price. But how would we charge my time and my idea sitting down and just writing your professional document? Wow.
Those are the dynamics.
All right. Imagine you're coming to the end of the show, but before we finish this show, I want you to look at this camera here. This is Wanyonyi Wafula. This guy is from Kakamega, man. Doing an amazing job on the camera. I want you to look at this camera. Maybe just tell us, where do we find you on Facebook? Maybe if you are free, if you are comfortable, you can give us your phone number, your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle, your location of the office, and all that details. Where can one find you?
Yes. We are located in a building called Kasamia Building. Kasamia Building is in an area called Lane 26, Waka. So there we have our physical office where we are doing this interview right now. We have an email address which is Lwitsan@gmail.com. There's the other website based, but you can use Lwitsan@gmail.com to get us by mail. I am okay. I can as well give my number. My contacts are 0726 121382.
Okay, I lost it.
Then check us on Facebook, Lwitsan Consultants. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are also on LinkedIn.
All right.
We post a lot of content and creative material, and yes, we are.
So maybe you are parting short, your last words maybe to the viewers on something.
Yes, my parting shot is to the young people and people in the business. Leviticus chapter number 23 and verse 2 says that when you harvest, do not harvest everything. Leave it for the sojourners and the poor people in your society. How I relate this to business is that not 100% of your profits are meant for your banks. Make sure you have space for a young person needing experience. Make sure you have space for someone else who is able to just learn a thing or two from you. And I know at the end of the day, that is the only way we can beat the stereotypes on young men and women getting into career, and we are able to just have more and more people developing. I'm passionate about this because I'm a product of mentorship.
Wow.
Yes.
Now it's a product of mentorship. I think I'm also a product of mentorship, but I will not tell you how. If you want to know more, just keep watching and you'll get to know that information. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our time on Niko Wax Now Task this Friday. See you again next week Friday, same channel, same time. Remember, Elevate TV, we are advancing Kingdom lifestyle. And just before I sign out, big shout out to Next Limited. your industrial laboratory partner who have sponsored this program. Thank you so much. See you again next week. God bless you. We are out of here.